Yes, good morning, dear students. Today I will be dealing with the types of breeding methods in self-pollinated crops. Before going to discuss about breeding methods in self-pollinated crops, we must try to understand the natural genetic architecture of the self-pollinated crops. So if you see that the genetic architecture is in natural conditions, self-pollinated crops are homozygous in nature. They don't show inbreeding depression. Means if you are selfing them, the natural self-pollinated crops, natural varieties, you can say, if you are selfing them, there will not be any depression or any changes in the genetic architecture of the variety. So they don't show inbreeding depression. This is one. The another is they also show heterosis. Earlier it was thought that heterosis may not occur in self-pollinated crops, but of course nowadays it is very clear that self-pollinated crops also show heterosis, maybe up to not that much extent as we are getting in cross-pollinated crops. So what should be our idea if you wish to develop the varieties in case of self-pollinated crops? We must concentrate on two points: that there is no inbreeding depression, but there is heterosis available, as well as the genetic architecture of natural varieties in self-pollinated crops is homozygous. So here we have to think about only two things: whether we are going to develop a homozygous line, the high yielding varieties, using any method to develop a homozygous line which is high yielding. This is one, but it must be homozygous. So nowadays we are calling these varieties, if you have developed through breeding, so we are calling whether it is inbred variety, not inbred line. Inbred line is entirely different. We use inbred line word term in cross-pollinated crops, but inbred variety we are now using in self-pollinated crops. Once in self-pollinated crops, heterosis is available, and we are exploiting the heterosis in self-pollinated crops. At the same time, we are developing hybrids also by for utilizing the heterosis. So here in self-pollinated crops, two types of varieties we are going to develop. One is high yielding variety by any means. Another is hybrids for exploiting the heterosis. High yielding varieties by exploiting transgressive segregants. Hybrids for exploiting heterosis. So we have to see this genetic architecture of self-pollinated crops. Accordingly, we have to use the breeding methods. So if you see that how to proceed, breeding methods, if you see, this is all the method of selection, you can say. Different methods of selection is applied. Say for example, if variability is present in your population, then we are not going for hybridization. So whatever variability is present in the population, so selection without hybridization. Selection without hybridization. This I am dealing the breeding methods in pollinated crops. The one is selection without hybridization, and another is selection after hybridization. Here mainly two methods are there: mass selection second is pure line selection. Mass selection and pure line selection without hybridization. And here with hybridization, if you see, different methods are there. The one you can say the pedigree method, the bulk method, the back cross method. This all I am dealing the conventional method I am dealing here. So you see, selection without hybridization is mass selection, pure line selection, or you can have some modifications of these which are available. Modifications of these methods, and selection after hybridization, the pedigree method, bulk method, and back cross method, or modifications of these you can use, but the fundamental methods are only these. You can have some modifications according to your will, according to your accessibility of the things. What you are going to do with the mass selection means whatever variability is present in your natural variety or old varieties or local varieties, you are using that variability to develop a new variety. But we are just improving the local varieties through this method. This pure line selection is also the same. We are not going to make any crosses. Whatever natural variability is present in the population, we are using that, and we are going ahead to develop homozygous line. So the variety being developed through this method can be said pure line variety. The varieties developed through all these methods can be said high yielding varieties, inbred varieties. So selection after hybridization. Here I would like to tell you that So these pedigree method or bulk method, particularly we are targeting the transgressive segregants to develop entirely new variety. Means you can say the best method of transgressive breeding is your pedigree method, or you can say the bulk method, or its modification. The best transgressive breeding method through which you are going to develop high yielding homozygous variety. Through backcross method, you are going to develop, you are going to improve your commercial variety which has become susceptible for a particular disease or insect pest, or even then if you wish to have some change in the character of your most popular variety. Say for example, if in case of rice, this MTU 7029, which is known as Sonda, is the highest yielding variety. If you wish, that farmers are saying that, sir, all characters and yielding potential should be same, can you, sir, change little its duration? Can you change its duration by reduced by 10 days or 15 days? Can you do it? So if you are doing that, means you are reducing the duration of that variety. You need a donor variety with reduced days of maturity. You have to transfer that gene responsible for short duration. You have to transfer in Sonda, and no other traits should be changed. All traits should be same which farmers are liking, but they want to have 10 days or 15 days earlier. So you can do it. Means improvement in popular variety if you need. The variety should be the same variety. There should not be any change, because farmers are willing to have that only. But it has some defect. So can you correct that defect? Yes, you can correct. Through what? Through backcross breeding. This can be said as combination breeding also. If you are putting few genes of other donor varieties into your variety, so you are combining. This can be, you are combining the gene in your popular variety. So you see that here you can exploit the natural variability present in the population through mass selection and pure line selection. But you cannot think more progress through these methods to have high yielding varieties. Of course, from this you can think about some, but not very much. Of course, if you are willing to develop entirely new variety, high yielding variety, as per your objective, you have to use transgressive breeding method. Particularly the most useful method is pedigree method, as well as bulk method of breeding, or you can say the selection. And if you wish to improve the variety, you can have this. So nowadays molecular assisted backcross breeding is helping a lot. Here, for this, improving the most popular variety to correct some defects, through conventional method we take longer duration. We take generally 10 to 12 generations, but through application of molecular tools we can reduce the duration by half, you can say, and we can have an improved version. As you well-known varieties are there, very popular varieties. Swarna sub1 gene, submergence tolerant gene has been introgressed in Swarna. It is the same Swarna with the tolerance capability, with submergence tolerant capability is there. Likewise, many Pusa Basmati has been improved by incorporating some resistant genes into that through molecular assisted backcross breeding method. So the conventional breeding nowadays has been changed to the molecular assisted backcross breeding for improving any varieties. So this I'm informing you about the breeding methods in self-pollinated crops, and in next lectures I'll be coming one by one and dealing with the different methods used for developing varieties in self-pollinated crops. Thanking you very much.